Hello, hello. You're listening to For the Girls, Gays and Days, the podcast where two friends process their emotions concerning pop culture of note to the acronymed community. From film to television, music, and more, we're here to tell you what caught our queer eyes this week. I'm Colt, he, him.
I'm Alex, they, them.
Welcome.
Welcome to it.
This time, we're looking back at season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race US, the witches of Her Majesty's Royal Coven, as well as the country stylings of CMAT. To kick us off, category is television. And we'll be talking about RuPaul's Drag Race US. It is the flagship of the Drag Race empire that has recently concluded its 15th season. And we're here to look back at the best the season had to offer. I think this season is at least the top half if we were ranking seasons. Top,
Yeah.
but
No.
I did enjoy it. I thought the cast was overall strong. I thought the top four were correct and obvious choices from early on.
Yeah.
And I thought there were a number of compelling storylines, throughout the season. We had the twins, the TikTok twins versus everybody. And then we had RuPaul versus Marsha's face for a good section of the season. And then we had Lucy slowly descending into madness and delusion. And of course, Mistress being the best kind of troll throughout the season and just poking everybody. We'd love to see it. What do you think overall of the season?
We'd love to see it. I would categorize this as the Jersey Twink season. If I was giving it a moniker, it would be the Jersey Twink. I have to admit, at first, the first episode, I wasn't sure. I was like, what are we doing, girls? And even the girls fighting didn't give it to me. But then I think the thing that saved this season was the actual storyline editing, like you've mentioned.
Yeah.
I think they did great work with the twins. I think they did exceptional work, inviting us to the Cecil Colby meet and greet. I enjoyed that every single week. I enjoyed Mistress adding a little. She was what I would call the hot sauce of the season. Every now and then she'd just whisper in Lucy's ear, "What have you said?" And I really appreciated that. I think there are some real standout moments, which everybody knows of this season. I think there are obvious standout queens. I think some queens just need a little more seasoning and they'll come back. But overall, I would give it like a 7 out of 10.
I'd go 8.
Which is good.
I'd go 8, yeah.
Good for 8. You're
Yeah.
You're a genius queen.
Well, I think there's several seasons that I would give 10s to, Your 12s, your 6s, your 8s, your 5s. Those are like 10s across the board seasons. I think this would be an 8s across the board seasons, or like an 8-8-7, You and I had very different experiences of that first episode, because for me, that's in my top 3 episodes of the season. I really enjoyed the premiere. Yeah, we had this discussion and we talked about the premiere when it first aired. I thought that I really liked the variation on it, and I thought that it gave, Anitra and her fucking duck. So we love that. I think Irene, bless her, only got the 1 episode. Well, 2 episodes technically, but a long episode. We only got 1 episode with her, but she made the most of it. She was a confessional queen for a whole 2 hours, and then it has been really entertaining on Twitter. So I think we were absolutely robbed of Irene. I think seeing Irene on Twitter and seeing Irene on Instagram and the looks that they would have served and the humor that they had that was on show in that first episode, I thought that they would have been I look forward to the day when they're on an All Stars. But
Exactly. I
genuinely really enjoyed that first double episode. I liked that they didn't split it into 2 very distinct separate episodes. They've done that a few times now. Sometimes it's worked really well, sometimes it hasn't. I just had a really good time with it, and I liked sort of meeting the queens. I liked the mini challenges. We got very few of them throughout the season because, of course, we forgot to mention that the runtime of the season got cut short because of the real friends of Besties West, whatever it's called,
flop.
Really flopped hard, and MTV really didn't understand their target audience there. Made Todrick like the central character of a show and fucked with Drag Race. Bad idea, baby. Bad idea. So of course we lost a lot of stuff throughout the season. A lot of that being full fat mini challenges and full fat runways. We lost some of those. Sometimes I think it worked. I think it worked very well for Snatch Game.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion, perhaps, but I thought the more compact edit served Snatch Game better, because I think some seasons they were able to left in a lot of like the Snatch games that weren't Snatch gaming. So I thought the more compact edit for that worked really well. But anyway, yeah, the premiere episode would be one of my 3. I thought I really, really enjoyed it as an opener to the season.
Don't give me spoilers. Reveal. Give me the full surprise when we do our top 3.
Well, we're in it. We're in it right now.
Can you say it? Okay, I'll say mine too. I'm ready. Ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. And at number 3, we have the Rusical.
That is in my 3. I haven't ranked them specifically, personally. I've just done like 3 that I really enjoyed.
I ranked.
Oh, good for you. Well, I think there'll be some overlap. Obviously, there's not been some because I've already said one of mine's a premiere. But yes, the Rusical is also on my list. What did you think of it?
I loved it. I really felt like that was Lucy at her pussy giving best. Like, it was so fun. I still think like she is a great performer and that BFA works hard. I'm
genuinely surprised she was in the bottom for that. I personally had her as my winner pick for that episode. I thought she did the best in that episode. I wouldn't say that for a lot of the season for her, but for that episode, I do think that. But I think also across the board, that episode, not a single bad note. I thought the musical was well written. I thought the performances were pitch perfect.
Yeah. I think it was one of the best episodes, best musical episodes ever.
Yeah, because they've been very hit and miss, musicals. You know, for every shade the Rusical, there's a whatever that Trump Grease hybrid was in season 11. So
a little bit rough. And in at number 2, we have the premiere.
You put it in your 3. I thought you hated her.
I did. No, you're completely right. So I was unsure of the casting, but say like you can feel when the people behind the scenes are enjoying what they're doing, and I felt like the editing in the first episode made me feel like they were really enjoying the moment and enjoying the moment.
Yeah,
I really feel like they gave you not only a look at these queens, but a look at what they were going to do throughout the season. They showed rather old, and I think that's such a great skill in a show that's 15 seasons old, just this version. I just thought it was really creative and different, and the casting I wasn't sure about, and maybe that's my homophobia coming out in a new and exciting way. But like the actual episode was very good.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that you came around to it, because I remember watching that first episode and you were like, I don't know about this season. So I love to see.
Well, I processed. I worked through it like chewing a steak, so I just let it think about it for a second.
Yeah, well, that is on my list. I will say the only episode you've yet to mention, I don't know if this will be your number 1. I don't know. The makeover.
Yep, the teachers. Oh, what was the name?
It was the teacher's makeover. Yeah, I don't know what the exact fun wording of it was, but I was like the teacher's makeover. I thought it was a fun batch of teachers who had really interesting stories. I thought they interacted really well with their queens, and it's the episode that Lucy went home.
I like that episode a lot. That's maybe an honorable mention. I think it was very good. But the one that I would say makes my top 3 is the finale. I really enjoyed being surprised by Lux.
Surprised by anything?
I was surprised by Lux.
Really?
I think she did really good.
Oh, I agree. I just wasn't surprised. I was surprised she didn't make the top 2. But I was not surprised she was that good.
I thought Anitra would have her on toast, to be fair.
Oh, no.
But she did not.
Yeah. For me, the finale was a bit flat. I thought there were no real surprises. Again, apart from the fact that I thought that, I wasn't surprised, but I did think that Lux should have been in the top 2. I wasn't surprised she didn't get put in the top 2, because I think RuPaul had sort of decided who his top 2 was in episode 1. In episode 1, he decided who they were, and it didn't include Lux or Mistress, bless them. I thought that Lux did a far better job than Anitra. I don't know what Anitra's final number was. I didn't think that it was particularly her brand. I don't think that look was particularly her brand. I don't think it was. It was fine. I mean, if I saw it in person, again, I'm being one of those shady podcast hosts who are like, me. But if I saw it in real life, I would live, I would gag, I would love it. But when you put her up against what I think Lux did, and even what Mistress did, I just didn't think top two worthy. But
yeah.
But I think that just goes to, I'm glad that you sort of, even if it was just in the end, saw how amazing that Lux was, because I've been on the Lux bandwagon from the beginning. Lux is one of my top 3 fave queens of the season. I think doing my little rundown, because I do my own little like ranking of where I would have put people in the replacements and stuff. I have a little spreadsheet and everything. Lux won the most challenges, in my opinion, for me. If it was Colt's Drag Race, Lux would have won like 4 challenges, but it wasn't Colt's Drag Race, it was RuPaul's Drag Race, so Lux only won like 2.
Why don't you put that on Instagram? Put it on Twitter, like screen grab it and put it up. And Instagram.
No, I don't need to cause fights. I don't need to cause drama. I'll leave that to Lux and Mistress. Love them. Let people do what they're good at. That's not what I'm good at, but Lux was absolutely one of my favorites of the season.
And I think that's a nice segue into our top 3 queens, maybe.
Yeah.
Because for me, Lux is in my top 3 queens. I'm not gonna draw it out too much because we all know the reasons. Number 3, Lux. Number 2, Anitra. Number 1, Sasha. And I know Anitra didn't give me exactly what I wanted in the finale. But she did deliver throughout the season. And I think for me, Sasha's just a consummate professional and a kind professional. She was not cunty in the least, even when she tried to be. In the little takeaways. Lux, complete cut. And I really enjoyed that about her. Her costume, so good.
Yeah,
so good.
That's what it was. It was a confidence that I don't think, when people were like Mistress and Lux were bullying, I could kind of see it from Mistress, because Mistress was purposely poking the bear.
No, Mistress,
but not bullying. It was I don't think it was bullying either. I think it was sort of like that fun shadiness that you and I both really enjoy. You to a point.
I'm a bit soft for it, to be fair. But I
don't think Lux was ever really that. I think Lux was just like very self-confident and spouting catchphrases at any point she could. Any Drag Race reference, she was making them. Pop culture references, she's got them. And that's why I loved her. That's why she's in my top 3. Might be my favorite of the season. Again, because I haven't really ranked my little list of 3, but I think she might be my favorite of the season. I'm not going to lie. I just, because she had that delusional that Lucy had. But there's something about that, like, that white gay TM delusion that hits different and irritates me. It grates me. Whereas Lux never did. But that, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I was not one of those people. I was into it.
The wrong way.
Yeah. Another similar and acquired taste, Mistress, is also in my 3.
Mistress is great. I just feel like
Mistress is great television.
She's great TV, and I don't know why people shit on there's 2 ways to be bitchy on Drag Race, and I think Lucy LeDuc is a great example of how not to do it.
She thinks she's nice, but she's really not.
She thinks she's nice, but she's really not.
Whereas Mistress has no interest in being nice. She's kind deep down.
Yeah. She helped those bitches. She helped Sugar and Spice.
Yeah. She expresses love through, good-natured teasing is how I would describe Mistress, which is very my brand, personally, in life.
To me, though, I just felt, and this is not me ragging on Lucy too much, I just felt like there's this thing that white women do where they just cry whenever a Black woman and a woman of color gets a little bit of something that they thought they deserved.
It's exhausting, yeah.
And she gave me that, and I just didn't, because if I wanted that, I'd watch straight shows.
Yeah.
It was very annoying for me.
Yeah.
Everyone join home, but do I listen to Loose every day? Yes. Thank you for asking. I do.
I listened to the remix version. I don't listen to the original one as much, but when the remix version came out with Lemon and Jan on it, I'm like, okay. Which is weird. Like Jan never irritated me. Never. Not once. But Lucy did. I
stab somebody.
I can't explain why, but you know, I'm a big Jan stan.
I can see why they're friends. I can see how they would hang out, all three of those girls.
I mean, they're all the same person, different font, but like in a way that I enjoy.
It's less annoying. Like, I feel like Lemon doesn't annoy me as much.
No, never. And then also speaking of someone who's a slightly different variation on that, the other one in my 3, which I know is nowhere near your 3, is Marsha times 3. Marsha. I love Marsha.
You're a liar. You lied to my face because she almost made it.
She did.
He did almost make it.
I forget how much that we're actually very similar people and that our tastes are very similar. I forget that sometimes with your love of the sports and the really, really sad music, which I like, but you know. But I forget that we sometimes share a couple of brain cells, and yeah, I love Marsha times 3. I thought that they were delightful.
So good.
And I think it is
work.
Best lip sync of the season was Marsha v Anitra, and it should have been a double save. I will go to my grave. My last words will be Marsha Anitra should have been a double save. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I felt like it was a really missed opportunity, and everybody felt that way. So I guess we just can't relate to a multimillionaire fracking superstar. So that's okay. I really feel like it was. She also, for me, showed that she wanted to grow. Not with her makeup. No. Which in other points, proceed into it.
That whole thing of like she wasn't wearing any makeup, she had just like chapstick and mascara on. I never really saw it. I always thought she was putting on a full face of makeup, but it's just not in the style that RuPaul enjoyed. Like she's still putting that full face on, but just not cutting a hectic crease. I wouldn't say like she did shit to her nose like all the time. Like there was always so much stuff going on her nose, but and she didn't do like the giant, you know, wing dye and then the eyelid up here on her forehead or whatever. She wasn't doing any of that, but it was still a full face of makeup. She still looked very different to what she looks like out of drag.
And I feel like she, even in that lip sync, you could see that she was still sort of subverting what they were saying into her own way. She's a very odd queen too. So if you had that, it's like it is a full face of makeup. But I think like she definitely was saying fuck you to what people wanted her to do, and I appreciate that because it's a hill she was willing to die on, and she was proud of herself. She exited, and I think that's the way to do it, and that's the way to leave. I don't want to go back to Lucy. I thought Lucy led.
Was so better about it. So me, like
that is not doing.
I don't know why I was even at the bottom. I should. Those are the queens. I was like, okay, calm down.
Exactly. There were not even tears. Too much for me.
But yeah, Marsha, I think whenever a producer convinces RuPaul to let her back in, it's going to be a hard fight for that producer. Godspeed to them. But if they ever do, I think that Marsha will be great on All Stars. Just like Anitra, I think Anitra will slay on an All Star season at some point. I really enjoyed Anitra. I thought that she was very strong in the start of the season and then strong towards the end. There was a bit of a middle point there, which kind of faded away a little bit. Still gave great confessionals, still had a great story, very compelling personal life, very attractive out of drag, potentially the trade of the season.
She was the trade of the season, and we should talk about that because it's important to objectify these people.
And you see, you know, Aura thought that she was the trade of the season. But, you know, and I'm sure for a very specific type of homosexual, you know, she was. But
no, me.
More of an Anitra fan.
Yeah, Anitra was trade of the season, and that was clear. I think from the outset and throughout, I mean, that jawline doesn't quit. That collarbone.
And, you know, they look like they eat like actual meals. They don't like eat the same thing every day and count the amount of protein that they eat. And they don't spend half their life in the gym, which I have no interest in that. No interest.
Shady boots. The shade. Like, yes, I said it.
I stand by it. And I haven't spoken about Sasha at all. I like Sasha. I think Sasha's fine. I think I had a little bit of a pushback against Sasha because whenever that bitch comes in and everyone's like, oh, well, that's the winner. That's the front runner. I'm like, no, but why? But why actually? And I think a couple of Sasha's wins should have gone to other people. I'm looking at the ball, didn't really understand that win. But yeah, no one else besides Sasha was realistically going to win. That's why I say when it came to the final, I was just like, it was flat because why are we wasting our time here? We all know that RuPaul's going to crown Sasha Colby. Like, come on.
I mean, we knew it. It was like with Lawrence Chaney. Like,
we did not know it was Lawrence Chaney. Don't lie to me.
You're the one who didn't know it was Lawrence Chaney. I said RuPaul would get on her knees.
The entirety of the UK was convinced it was Bimini. And it should have been Bimini.
Bimini was also convinced it would be Bimini.
Everybody at that watch party was convinced it was going to be Bimini. Like, the people that I watched it with, you were just like, obviously, Bimini's won every episode for like 4 episodes in a row. But
both know when RuPaul that was little Nacy.
That was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, RuPaul's drag, RuPaul, right? RuPaul's favorite drag queen race. Yeah, I know. That was the moment that I realized, and I do really enjoy Lawrence Chaney. I think Lawrence Chaney is a hoot. I'm very excited for what they've been able to do outside of the show. But that win was the moment I was like, oh, that was wild.
But Bimini has that level of delusion that I really admire. Like, when she released that single and she said on Twitter, "I need a music manager," and everybody thought she was joking, but she wasn't, and she was serious. And then she got one, and then she entered the charts. Now that's delusion.
I enjoy Bimini's music. I'm not gonna lie. I have all of their songs downloaded.
That's brilliant. I thought it was
getting wildly off track. Back to the season at hand.
Back to this continent. America first.
I
think it was good. I enjoyed it. I was sat for every single episode. I didn't skip a bunch and come back. I think it delivered. It wasn't season 12, but very few seasons are. But
it also wasn't season 13. So, or season 11. She did things. She did the thing. Yeah.
Season 11. Yeah. What a terrible taste in my mouth. This was a good season.
Yeah, this was a good season. And yeah, before we carry on, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. And we're back.
Hello.
And the category is music.
Yeah.
What we're listening to, Alex?
So I sent Colt this artist and he was like, "What is that?"
No, but I'm okay with it. I'm on board.
It does sound, the name of this artist does sound like a venereal disease, but it is not. So, welcome to the new phase of country, where I think it's very exciting to think about what could be when women and queer people, not that this artist is queer, but queer adjacent people, are allowed to record things that are exciting and new. Welcome to CMAT. CMAT, originally from Dublin, Ireland, but topping the charts all over the world and also in Ireland, with a style of country and folk that I find particularly alluring. Their voice sounds like nothing I've heard before. It's like a mix between Loretta Lynn and Shania Twain. I really love it. My favorite song of theirs is Nashville. Is very, very good. I think there's another one called No More Virgos, which Colt found officially.
Based on the name alone, I took some offense to, and then I realized that the artist was in fact a heterosexual woman, and then I'm like, yeah, no, you should avoid cishet Virgos like that. Cishet male Virgos, stay away. That fair enough. I, however, am a lovely Virgo.
He is an angel, folks. But Ciara Mary Alice Thompson, known professionally as CMAT, might have met some Virgos that belong in a bin.
I don't doubt. Yeah, lovely song.
It's a great song.
It's a lovely song.
It's from her debut album, If My Wife Knew I'd Be Dead, which was released in February 2022, and went straight to the top of the Irish album charts, which I know nobody listens to in America. So I've tried to give you as American references as possible, but basically just put her on and give her a chance. I think she's really well worth it. It's fun album art as well, which I'm sure Cole will.
Oh, love the album art. Yeah, for sure.
It's so much fun and not nearly as sad as everything else I listen to.
I mean, it's not cheery. Let's not let's not lie here. It's about as sad as your other recommendations, but with cheerier artwork.
Keep up its game. No, but it's a great record that she put out. I wanted to bring
I'll agree.
this week because she came up with a new single that I will get the official name for now. New single. And I've been listening to it all day, but it's called Whatever's Convenient. It was released only a few days ago, one day ago, and I think it's very, very good. But overall, I think if she is on tour around you in the US or Europe this summer, go see her shows. Really great for drinking a rosé too in the summer sun. For me, it's a happy summer record. I get how it's not necessarily that for everybody.
I think it's a great spring record because this spring still has that touch of melancholy lingering. And I don't know if that's just like recency bias for me in terms of we've had a very tumultuous up and down. Some days it's been pouring with rain and miserable, and other days beautiful sunshine. So it has that touch of melancholy, but it's not. I mean, I also thought that like Boy Genius as the record is also a really great sort of spring or autumn record.
I love that record. And somebody asked me like why I said in that podcast like you should listen to it in order.
Oh, you absolutely should.
It's because I think that works for that record, the record, but I don't think you have to listen to CMAT's record in order. I think there are some standout great songs, and you can sort of pop in and pop out with whatever you're in the mood for. This new single's also a great place to start. Lots of catchy one-liners, and so yeah, give her a listen.
Yeah, there's a very country feel. I think that
heterosexual. Has she told her face?
I know, it's unusual for you to recommend a heterosexual on this podcast.
I didn't think she was.
Yeah, but, you know, nobody's perfect.
Straight people exist all the time, and I love straight people.
Some of my best friends are straight, I don't know what you mean. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I've in the limited listening I've done to the album that you sent through, yeah, I think it's definitely worth a listen.
I agree.
And before we move on to the next category, I'm not usually the music bitch, but I did feel like I wanted to give a brief shout out.
Yeah.
We don't have to dive into it, but I do want to shout out Muna, who just released their new single, One That Got Away. I've been listening to it on repeat. Again, similar vein to Boy Genius in terms of lesbian behavior, which, you know, I'm a big fan of aesthetically. So check out that song. That's my little recommendation. Check out Muna, One That Got Away. The video is so queer, so thoroughly queer.
You'll never.
And I love it. I love it so much.
There is no doubt as to which way those folks swing.
It's not a mystery.
They did a great performance of their song with Phoebe Bridges at Coachella, which I really enjoyed too. And they're sort of like all three queer stereotypes in one band. And so I think they also just write great songs, and songs that aren't necessarily cringe worthy, but do have a lot of sex in them.
Yes.
They're dirty records sometimes.
Unintended there, I assume. Anyway.
Moving on
Indeed. Our category is literature. Again, in a lovely subversion. I have some literature to bring to the table. I bring to you Her Majesty's Royal Coven, aka HMRC. It is the 2022 novel by Juno Dawson. It tells the story of 4 childhood friends and witches now grown up and facing a threat to the peace they all fought very hard for during a magical civil war. Set in the modern day, it is a very modern story. We have Neve, a vet, as in veterinary, and magical teacher/guide with the primary ability to read minds. Then we have Elle, a stay-at-home mom with healing abilities. Helena, who runs the namesake of the book, Her Majesty's Royal Coven, a government agency of witches. She has the ability to control the elements. And then we have Leonie, a gay lesbian psychic witch who has started her own inclusive coven for witches of color because it's the UK. So, of course, a government agency coven would be racist.
Yeah, same here.
Mm-hmm. The catalyst for the story is a mysterious teenager with immense power who is put in Neve's care at the behest of Helena, who believes that the child will trigger the end times.
Cheapest.
It's mostly a very easy read. I enjoyed the world building, the characters. I thought, though parts of the plot were somewhat predictable, that has very rarely been something that I mind at all. It notably features a very prominent trans story, told quite authentically, which is no surprise, given that Juno Dawson is herself a trans writer. And it also features a villain that is a very thinly veiled send-up of the Grand High Turf herself, good old Joanne. Yeah,
I love you.
Yeah. You can't help but like see a turf in a story about witches and not immediately believe that it is Robert Galbraith herself.
It's true. And I'm so happy you found this. It just makes me so happy that you can, I mean, I've read a couple of witchy books written by people who on turfs with gay people in it. And I think it's so great to give people that resource. It makes me so excited.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed it means I probably would too. This is great.
I think that you will love it, Alex. I think it is very entertaining. As I say, the world building, the way that the witches are sort of set up, it's very sort of Wicca focused. It's very, very sort of evokes charmed in a way, but it is also quite British in sensibilities. It makes a few pop culture references, which a lot of people didn't enjoy. Sort of seeing reviews of the book, people didn't necessarily enjoy the pop culture references so much. There's a heavy plot point relies on the fact that they pretended to be the Spice Girls when they were young. So to me, that can only be a good thing. But some people didn't love that. I loved that.
I did that.
Yeah,
I was very Spice.
Yeah, and I think that's also because the protagonists of the novel are in their 30s, in their early 30s, mid 30s, which is sort of our age range. Early 30s is very kind there, but
mid 30s, maybe I'm mid 30s. I'm back person.
So I think it's refreshing to see a story like this that's not necessarily YA, because a lot of the time stories like this tend to be in the YA genre. So it's nice to see the story told in a format that allows for the liberal use of the word cunt. So
But I read a lot of YA, and I think it's great.
So do I. Yeah.
It's also great to find something like you said in people in our age range. Who should probably get all their moles checked out and are still living their life.
Many.
Well, yeah, life doesn't stop when you turn 21, baby. So
yeah.
I think it's great.
As I say, some of the pop culture references have been criticized. I think, for me personally, a lot of the social commentary stuff is at times a bit heavy-handed, but also true to life. Like, I could never be like, that's not happening. There were some people who are like, people don't have these conversations. I'm like, oh, my people have these conversations. Trust and believe. But yeah, I think if you like witchy stories, this is for you. If you like stories with strong women protagonists, this is for you. If you like queer stories, this is for you. And if you're looking for a mildly more grown-up version of a YA lit, this is also for you. The second book in the series is due in June, and I cannot wait because, fair warning, it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger. So cannot wait for June, which, by the time you actually read the book, will be ever so closer to June. So you can just immediately get the next one and dive in. So
it is available at libraries in the US. I've looked it up. It's at my ones in Alabama. Nobody's banned it yet. So I'm very girl. Nobody's banned it. They responded me when I was looking it up. So it's a win.
It's funny because it's sad.
Yeah. I'll be getting it soon. As soon as the library allows. Other people have taken it out, the clever clocks that they are. And I hope to get it soon. And I'm so excited about it. I actually think that is one of my favorite things you brought to the pod. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, I loved it. I found it. I got it with a little book voucher that you got for me for my birthday. So I got it from an independent bookseller at that, which is also fairly rare to do, but I, got it from the independent bookseller, I think. My housemate's also read it. I think she read it on her Kindle, and she's been recommending it out to everybody that she knows. And I think one of her really good friends has also read it and was obsessed with it. So it's accessible to straight people as well. It's not just for us. We can let them in. They need to know what the trans experience is like, I suppose. But
we love straight people. We love
so yeah, definitely check it out. It's available bookstores nationwide, worldwide. And then also check out RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. I think it's on Represents Plus everywhere in the world, apart from the US, where I think it's on Paramount Plus, I believe. And
it's on MTV too. You can watch MTV.
There we go. And then, of course, check out the Country Stylings of One CMAT, available on all major streaming platforms. And thank you so much for listening. If you want to give us a follow on socials, we are at girlsgaysdays_pod on Instagram and TikTok. Video versions of this podcast are available on YouTube.
Join us again next week for another sip of queer culture.
Cheers.
I was having a cup of coffee. I wish it was wine.
I need this. You have no idea.